Hello, my name is Kevin Yoakum, and you are entering into Principles of Animal Biology. I want to go through just a couple of items in Blackboard to get you acclimated. So here we go. First thing, your landing spot on Blackboard is going to always be at this pretty picture here with the announcements. And many of you, hopefully all of you, check your emails and you've received some sort of announcement that looks a lot like this in your email inbox. Couple of things I want to discuss to clarify attendance and all of that here in a few minutes. So stay tuned. Just going to go right in order of how things show up in Blackboard. And then we'll talk about, or along the way, we'll talk about expectations. The syllabus and instructor info tab, you may need to refer to this if you're curious about the grading scale, but generally, you would just find a little bit of info with my name and my office location. You also have my email address and my phone number, and then you can also access my Zoom office link, which you can also get to over here where it says Zoom room. Those are the exact same links, so you don't even have to click into the syllabus and instructor info if we need to meet in Zoom for any reason. I have office hours listed down here as well. Those are very flexible, so if you need to meet at a different time that doesn't fit into those office hours, just email me and we can set something up if we need to. You'll also find the syllabus and the course calendar in this tab, and click that. It'll take you out to a link. Now you can print this off if you want. I don't give, I really don't give any paperwork anymore. So everything is in Blackboard. So here's the syllabus. You can browse through that. It has lab times for this particular class. It's 8:10 to 10:10 on Fridays. The other class, those of you may be watching in the 10:30 to 12:30 class. This is the syllabus is identical for both classes. Everything's identical. So except for maybe this letter right here that says A, some of you might have a B, and then of course the times. And again, we'll talk about the type of class this is. In fact, I'll go ahead and jump right into that after I tell you 9/9, Friday, September 9th until Friday, December 9th is how long we're going to be together. And when the course ends, I have to submit grades by December 11th. So try to have everything in by the 9th so I can grade everything on the 10th and get my grades in on the 11th. Also, something new for Gateway, because of the way I have this course set up, some of your other instructors will have their courses set up this way too, but I have no specific due dates. The course is open. Everything is available. You can work at your own pace. I have a few suggestions, but generally, yeah, you can just work at your own pace. Everything is technically due on December 9th. I grade things probably 2 or 3 times a week. So as things come in within a few days, generally you'll have a grade in Blackboard. So once you've accumulated enough points where you're comfortable where you're at, you can, I can submit your grade to the registrar. So you could potentially finish all of the work in, say, 10 weeks instead of 14 weeks. And I can submit your final grade to the registrar right then. So anyway, and then it'll be in your transcripts and you'll be done. You don't have to do anything else. So you don't have to wait until December 11th when I submit the final grades for those of you who are still turning things in and still doing work up until December 9th, which is perfectly fine with me. So yeah, you have 3 months, exactly 3 months. We're going to have about 15 kind of units. So, you'll have 3 months to do 15 units. So a couple weeks per, well, about a week per unit, 15 weeks, 15 units ish. So each unit is about a week. So, but anyway, well, you'll see that later. Now, this is the instructional delivery method, says hybrid. Now, on your schedules and the way many of you registered, and COVID created a lot of internet courses, and out of that internet course option became something called blended courses, something called a hybrid course. There's something called OSync, uh, async. There's all kinds of in sync. I don't think you wouldn't want to take that one anyway, if it were a course. But anyhow, let's see. So this particular course has been labeled a hybrid. You can see in the course lettering, up here, there's an H that stands for hybrid. Now, the hybrid model is very vague in what it states regarding meeting times. So we have it, not we, the definition of a hybrid course is meeting less than 50% of the credit hours in contact, what are called contact hours. So we basically, you can meet in many different ways. You can meet me in Zoom if you'd like. You can come to class if you'd like. So generally, you'll see in the way I have this structured, everything is online. All of your exams, all of your homework, all of your assignments, your lab assignments, everything is online. So you'll be able to do everything that way. Now, class-wise, and I'll pull up the calendar, I have us meeting in Elkhorn every other Friday to do some dissections. Now, again, you're not required to be there if you can't make it, or just you thought you were registering for online, which is perfectly fine. That's the way it reads. So you can do this course entirely online. A few of you have reached out to me about that already. So yeah, there's my attendance policy is basically you need to log into Blackboard at least once a week and kind of stay on top of things that way. But as far as class goes and attendance in class, I don't require that. I don't dock points. If you signed up for a face-to-face course with full 4 or 5 hour a week face-to-face meeting times, then that would be different. But that's not the way this is set up. So anyway, it's an intro to biology course with emphasis on some of the basics of the animal kingdom and especially the different body systems. So anyhow, it is a hybrid model. Attendance is voluntary, it's not mandatory. We do meet in Elkhorn, room E230 in the north building. On Fridays, I'll be there 8:10 to 10:10, and then another group from 10:30 to 12:30. And so let's see. And again, what we do is identical in both classes. More stuff in the syllabus. You'll find the OpenStax textbook link, course outcome summary link that basically goes through everything that we're supposed to be doing, kind of a checklist. So you can look at that if you'd like. Let's see, grading. So again, for strictly forbidden to copy and distribute and to upload assignments into other websites so other students can. Anyway, that's really about it as far as it goes. And again, attendance, you just need to make sure you're keeping up with the work, logging into Blackboard and completing assignments. The course is out of 1,350 points. So you can see, it seems like a lot, but again, it's roughly 100 points a week. So we have about 14 weeks. So anyway, about 100 points a week. You could think of it that way. So anyway, this is the range. These are the ranges that you need to get the specific letter grade over there. So again, if you're aiming for a B, and you get to 1,115 points at some point during the semester, you can email me and say, I'm in the B range. I've got 1,115 points. I'm good to go. Would you submit my grade to the registrar? Go ahead, I could do that. And then you can be done. So if you're working on the A range, same thing. Once you get to 1250, you can email me and say, hey, I'm good to go. So you can submit my grade to the registrar. So anyway, just something to keep in mind. Here are the items that you're going to be doing. We have little Padlet quizzes. They're short quizzes that relate to a Padlet, which is like a wiki board, kind of like I don't do discussion boards. I do Padlet wiki boards instead. So I'll show you those. The lab assignments, you'll have about one of those a week. Lab quizzes, about one of those a week. And then you'll have 5 exams, unit exams, basically. And those questions on the exams are going to come from your quizzes for the most part. In fact, maybe all of them are from that same pool. So keep that in mind as well. Key dates: college is closed November 24th to the 27th for Thanksgiving. Obviously that Friday. Well, we're not meeting. I think November 18th is the last meeting date for us. Or something like that. But anyway, I've got it in the calendar. It's a couple of kind of financial aid type things. Let's see, last day to add 926. So you can still add up to 926. You can drop the first day of class. If you drop before the first day of class, you get 100% refund. If you drop within the first couple of weeks, it just keeps going down from there. So anyway, I think you can find a lot of these deadline dates in your student stuff. So anyhow, if you have questions about withdrawing or dropping or your grades, again, just email me and let me know. Here are some of the key dates. I've got a more broad calendar that I'll show you in just a second, but that's just the basics of what we're going to be doing there. So I'm going to get out of the syllabus. You can read through that on your own. Here's the calendar that I have for the semester. Again, our meeting times, we're going to meet Friday, September 9th. That's this Friday. It's just going to be an introduction. I want to make sure everybody's on board with understanding the expectations of attendance, the expectations of just the course in general, kind of how to navigate Blackboard, how to do a Dropbox and all that good stuff. So again, attendance is not required. It's not mandatory. Everything's in Blackboard. I'll be putting videos in and announcements in every other week. So, or maybe even more frequently. So keep your eyes out for that. Check your emails regularly. Anytime I do an announcement, you'll get an email for that. So anyway, this week, September 9th, we're going to meet and do discuss kind of what's going on. And then the following week, we won't meet. You'll have plenty to work on. But again, I'm always available in Zoom if you need help. And like I say, I'll be providing you with videos and other items. So anyway, and then September, we're basically meeting every 2 weeks. So we're going to dissect a rabbit on September 23rd. We're going to look at musculature primarily, and then have a week off, and then from meeting, and then we'll do the brain, dissect a sheep brain and a cow eyeball. And then 2 weeks after that, we'll dissect, I think they're pig hearts. And then we're going to do some blood typing. We're not going to do your blood typing. I have blood typing kits with pre-made artificial blood. And then a couple weeks later, on November 4th, we're going to dissect and look at what's called a sheep pluck. And the pluck is going to be like respiratory. So we'll look at the lungs. The heart will be kind of embedded in there with the lungs. So you'll recognize that from a couple weeks prior. And then the diaphragm, there might be a part of the liver as well, but generally the respiratory system is what we look at there. And then the GI tract, we have a sheep GI tract that we'll also look at and dissect. And then lastly, on November 18th, we're going to look at the kidneys. We'll dissect those. And those are, I believe, I think they're pig. They might be cow. I don't know. But anyhow, some four-legged farm animal. And then rat, we'll look at reproductive stuff with rats. We usually have some pregnant rats, male rats, female rats, so we'll get to look at some of that. And then if we have some pigeons, we'll dissect those. I believe Andrew, our lab tech, has some, and any other stuff that he has, in the room for us to dissect. But I think pigeons are kind of cool as well, and you get to see what's going on inside of a pigeon. We don't do frogs. I think most of you have probably done frogs before. If not, if Andrew has some, we may look at those. But generally, we stick with mammals, and then certainly we'll look at the pigeon. We used to do fish, but they just not great. So all of these dissections are tremendous. I have PowerPoints with them. So if you can't attend the dissections, again, you can watch YouTube videos. You could type in rabbit muscle dissection or sheep brain dissection. Again, I also have PowerPoints that you can look at as well. So anyway, and then on here are also, so it looks pretty jumbled. There's a lot of stuff on here, but it has all of when everything, not when everything's due, but kind of what we're doing each week and what chapters it all relates to. So this calendar is extremely helpful. It goes week by week. Again, I have it color coded for the units or modules. We do 5 modules, and each module has roughly 3 units in it. So there's that, and then you can go through. There's a lab safety training kind of PowerPoint and a little checklist. You'll want to watch that before we meet back up if you are going to come and do the rabbit dissection or any dissections this semester. You'll want to take this short lab safety training quiz, and you can take that as many times as you'd like. So that's syllabus instructor. Here's again the Zoom room link. OpenStax is the textbook that you use for probably a little bit at the beginning. You may do some introductory stuff with OpenStax. It's a biology text. It does have, and I have, in this calendar, I have what chapters in OpenStax associate. So you can use OpenStax, and here are the chapters that go with that. Okay, and then your lab manual is also going to be full of great info. So anyway, here are the OpenStax resources. You can go through again and kind of mix and match. It talks about some of the basics of how to use your OpenStax. It's a virtual book, but you can order, I believe our bookstore has hard copies. You can also get them from Amazon and probably eBay too. But anyhow, it just has each chapter. And again, we go through a lot of this we don't do because there's a lot of plant biology in here. So you may find this OpenStax resources useful. You may not. I'd say most students don't spend a heck of a lot of time in that tab. Now, where you are going to spend some time, you may open the PowerPoint slides. And again, I have the lab slides listed first. So again, if you can't make it, or even if you do, we're going to be looking at the rabbit muscles, sheep brain dissection checklist, cow eye dissection checklist, blood typing lab, and so on. So, and then the pig heart. I don't have the sheep pluck, the GI tract, and the kidneys. You don't need a check. You don't need anything for that. That's more of a demo. But so anyway, that's kind of toward the end, and again, more of a demo. So lecture slides are in here. These are all of the links. Again, I did put the OpenStax slides for Unit 1. There are a few chapters in OpenStax that apply, but the rest of these, for the most part, are going to be from the lab manual, and then there's a textbook that goes with the lab manual. If you just Google Colville, Colville, the author of your lab manual, you can find the textbook as well. I recommend, it's a recommended text. It's not a required text, but that's helpful too. You may be able to get rent like an e-version of that for like 20 bucks or something. But you don't need it. It's just something that, you know, you may find useful. I did put a lot of the info from it in these slides, so that they'll be very helpful. The slides are very helpful, so you may find you don't need the book. But anyhow, here are all of the slides, and then again toward the end of the semester, we get into OpenStax again. We go through genetics and inheritance and a little bit with evolution and adaptation, and then some animal behavior stuff. So anyhow, that's where you're going to find those. And then unit outlines, these are extremely helpful. So while you're going through the PowerPoint slides, and like I say, I'll be putting some videos up as well that'll discuss some of the key points. But I do have the outlines as well for each of the units. These are going to be extremely helpful. Your test questions, your a lot of your assignments, a lot of that information is kind of broken down in an outline form. So you're going to definitely want to access these as you're going through each unit. So again, we have 15 units. So you're going to, you know, basically one a week. So this week, you get them started on unit 1, take a peek at the outline, go to the PowerPoint slides, look through the unit 1 PowerPoint slides. I've got 2 different batches, one from OpenStax, one from the lab manual. And then some videos. If you click that, it just opens up some video links that might be helpful as well. And again, I'll be adding more videos in as we go. Let's see. Now so that's that section. I'm almost done. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but this is kind of the main section where all of your assignments are. So this is kind of where you're going to be living when it comes to turning things in. So the first thing you see is the Padlet for animal biology. So it's one screen, and you're going to have all 15 unit Padlets are going to be in here. And again, a Padlet board is like a wiki board. If you don't know what a wiki board is, it's basically kind of an all-in-one or one-stop shop for different, it's like a bulletin board, basically a virtual bulletin board of classifying different categorizing different subjects and putting links and videos, and then people can comment on them. So it's kind of like a running, for me, it's like a running, kind of like a blog. So, but the students are the bloggers. So I kind of feed you unit 1. Here's a little feeder video to watch about vertebrate classification. So then what you'll want to do is click the plus button, and it'll pull up, let's click it, and it'll pull up an area where you can type in comments and there we go. So it's kind of like an email. Looks almost like an email or a post or whatever, like a Facebook post or whatever. So you type in, you can put your name as the subject is recommended, and then just type in kind of your thoughts, backstory on something that you can relate to with this. And then you want to go through and read some of your classmates. You can browse through those as well. And then, you know, if you want to put a link in there of something that relates to it, you go ahead and do that, and then just hit submit. And or here it is, it says publish, hit publish, and then it'll publish it right underneath the video. Now, you don't have to open up a Padlet account. Many students do. You can see Kathleen Lampman opened up an account, so her name just automatically appears. You can see I have an account, so my name automatically appears. But over here, I have an anonymous she decided she didn't want to open an account, which is perfectly fine. You guys have so many different accounts, but she did put her name, Juliana. She ultimately opened one under her name, under Kathleen's. But anyway, initially she just put her name at the end of each one. And here are a couple more over here. You can see Anonymous and Morgan Robinson just put her name in the subject line. I think a lot of students find that easiest. So you don't need to open an account, just hit plus, type your name in the subject line, and then say a little bit about the video. So and then you can reply to peers if you'd like. You don't have to, but that's the Padlet for you guys. And then there are going to be 5 Padlet quizzes. So you're going to have the unlimited attempts, and they're very short questions, low stakes. I think it's like 3 questions, 10 points apiece, that relate back to something about, for the first one, it would be the first 3. So vertebrate classification, integumentary, and comparative anatomy. Okay. So you have 5 of those. So again, low stakes. You can take them as many times as you want. There are 3 questions, just to kind of get your feet wet a little bit for each unit. So anyway, start unit 1. This is week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and so on, if you kind of look at it that way. Again, you can work at your own pace. So some students do a couple units a week and they get everything done in like 8 weeks. So totally up to you. The other 3 items, assignments. Okay, these are Dropbox, or not Dropbox assignments. These look like kind of like a quiz, or I don't know what it. Well, I'll just open it. So unit 1, it says lab assignment. There we go. So it calls it a test. I can't change this verbiage up here, so it just says test, but it's not a test. It's an assignment. So don't be confused by that. It says right up here, unit 1 lab assignment, and then you're going to hit continue. And it's going to be a series of short answer questions. So again, you have unlimited attempts, but these questions, again, are from unit 1. So when you go back in here and you go to the unit outlines, you're going to find the unit 1 outline here. It's going to relate to these questions. You'll also find that the PowerPoint slides that relate to unit 1, there they are, unit 1 slides. Okay, so those will help you as well with answering these questions. Now, you're not going to be able to type right in here, you'll notice. So you want to scroll down, and so what students generally do is they're going to they grab this, and see how it just highlights right away. And then you want to right click, and then you can hit copy. And then you can come down here into your text area, and then you hit, boy, that didn't come out quite the way I wanted it. That's not what I was aiming for. Let me try this again. There we go. This might do it. Let's try this. So copy, and come down here. Oh yeah, I have to Control V. There it goes. There we go. Control V. So when you highlight it, you're going to want to highlight it all the way up here so you get the whole thing, and then hit right click copy. And then down here, then you want to hit Control V. Blackboard doesn't let you right click paste, so Control V. So anyway, here you go. Here are your questions, and then you can just start typing in your answers right after the questions. It's like, what does anatomy of a muscle, how does the anatomy of a muscle or bone differ from its physiology? So anatomy, simply put, anatomy is the study of structure. Physiology is the study of function. So anatomy of a muscle or bone discusses the structure of the muscle or the bone. Physiology of the muscle or the bone discusses its function. How does it work? So what is it as anatomy? How does it work is physiology. Okay, so these are short answer. You don't have to get too wordy. So what describes appearance and location, and what describes function? So Anatomy describes appearance and location. Physiology describes function. You don't have to type all that out. You could just type anatomy, comma, physiology. That tells me that you're answering the first part and then you're answering the second part. And then over here, again, you can type in anatomy equals, oops, that's a plus, equals structure. Again, I'm not a great typer. I'm a good speller, I'm just not a good typer. Anatomy equals structure. Physiology equals function. Okay? Something so there you're done with number one. Okay. And so on and so forth. So this is all in your OpenStax, as well as in your textbook, as well as in your PowerPoint slides, as well as in your notes for the unit. So anyway, that's what you'll do there. You know, it's probably the easiest way. Some students will copy and paste this into like a Google Doc or a notes or a Word doc, and they'll type into that, and then they'll copy and paste that. Just make sure you have your answers in this box down here. Once you're done, hit save and submit, and you're good to go. Okay, that's your, yeah, I'm good. That is your assignment number one, unit one lab assignment. All right, lab quizzes. So from those questions you did, it's from some of the other information in the unit outlines and in the PowerPoints and in all of your materials, you'll find the answers to these quiz questions. Again, these quizzes are, I believe I have them as 25 multiple choice. Yeah, 25 multiple choice each week. Unlimited attempts, no worries about timers, none of that. Okay, so just go in and take your time, look through your notes, look through your slides, look through everything you have, and go through and answer these questions, and then hit save and submit, and you're done. Okay, and it should grade it automatically, so you'll get a grade right at the end. Okay, so you have one of those a week. And then lastly, you have exams. So you're going to have 5 exams that go through 3 different units. So units 1, 2, and 3 are going to be in module 1. These are 100 question multiple choice exams. And again, a lot of the questions you'll maybe recognize from the pool of questions that you did with your quizzes. So again, you can take your time. There's no time limit. The idea is to really just, you know, some students, what they'll do once they're ready to take the module exams, they'll go through the first time and they'll take it without notes, without anything, just to see how they do. Because you've already done 3 quizzes that associate with this. You've already done your 3 assignments that you typed out. You've already done your 3 Padlets for this. So you should have a pretty good grasp on the answers by the time you get to the module exams. Okay, so once you're ready, take it, try and do it with nothing, just see what you score. If you don't like your score, go back in and retake the exam. Now, they could be different questions. It might be mixed up a little bit because it does come from a pool, but regardless, you have multiple unlimited attempts. It does keep your highest score. Okay, so that's it really with Blackboard. There's a My Grades spot where you can see your grades. But other than that, I don't really have much else. Again, I want to reiterate that your performance in this course is not directly related to your physical presence and attendance on Friday. Well, really every other Friday when we do dissections. Your performance and understanding of the knowledge of the basics with animal biology is contained all here within Blackboard. And of course, you can branch out into YouTube and other resources that you have available to you. But you have the knowledge is all at your fingertips. and you'll all do very well in whatever way you choose to complete the work. So anyhow, when you come or if you come to our dissections, I'll supply you with everything that you need. You'll have gloves and masks, and we have goggles and aprons, and you don't even need to bring your books. You really don't need to bring anything when you come to the dissections. I give you everything you need. So again, we're trying to keep it sanitary, keep it clean, keep our social distancing still. Now, with dissections, I'll probably have a mask on because I'll be going around, and plus it's kind of stinky, almost everything we dissect. So I have masks in the room. We have masks at this entry. So if you don't bring a mask, but again, not because of COVID, I mean, it can be because of that, but yeah, well, if you have COVID, don't come at all. I mean, mask or no mask. But for us in lab, we've been wearing masks doing dissections way before COVID. So they're not mandatory, though. Just I would recommend them for multiple reasons. So anyhow, if you have questions, shoot me an email. And other than that, if I don't see you Friday, and again, you've watched this video, hopefully it was helpful. And again, just let me know if you ever need anything, and we'll go from there. So have a good one.